Hey Outlaws! I want to start off by first welcoming all of the new subscribers to this channel. David and I are so happy that you're all here with us for this journey. I know that a lot of you guys found us through the videos of David discussing and showing his giant sword technique, Colossus. So if you've seen those videos, I'm sure that you've noticed that his sword is a replica of Guts Dragonslayer from Berserk. If you haven't seen any of those videos, which honestly I'm shocked, but if you haven't seen them, I'll leave some of the links in the description down below so that you can check them out after this video is over. On the topic of Guts and his Dragonslayer, let's talk about Berserk. I know you've all seen the title of this video, so you know what it's about, and I'm sure that many of you Berserk fans have found yourselves pondering the meaning of evil in the world, and particularly in the world of Berserk, and if Griffith is evil. I decided to do some research into this, and what I found out is that there's not just one specific marker of if someone is evil, but instead it's a collection of 9 dark core personality traits, which researchers call the D factor. No, not that D factor. The D factor is defined as the general tendency to maximize one's individual utility, while disregarding, accepting, or malevolently provoking disutility for others, accompanied by a belief that serves as a justification for their actions. There are a number of different dark psychological traits which might manifest in an individual, as you can see from the image that I've put on the screen. A particular individual will not necessarily exhibit all of these traits, but instead they're going to score higher on the spectrum for these traits than the average person, thus creating a general personality type, which is more inclined to putting themselves first at the detriment to others. And then they justify those actions in such a way that removes their own individual guilt or shame. Among the D factor traits, there are 3 which are considered to be indicative of an evil person. These are psychopathy, Machiavellianism, and narcissism. Together, these are referred to as the dark Triad personality type. So let's break down what these 3 traits are, and then I'm going to examine if Griffith exhibits these traits. And then to make things even more fun, I actually found a quiz online through the open source Psychometrics project, which is an interactive version of the Dark Triad personality test. And I'm going to take this test for Griffith using what we know about his character from the manga, and we'll see how he scores on these 3 traits and if it lines up with what my prediction is. So to start off, psychopathy. Psychopaths have little empathy or consciousness. They can commit heinous crimes against others without feeling any remorse for what they've done. People with high psychopathy scores on the Dark Triad inventory usually will display a lack of guilt or empathy, very shallow experiences when dealing with others, have difficulty in maintaining relationships, they are accustomed to taking large risks, they are frequently pathological liars, they are often quite charming and also very impulsive. When I think about Griffith's character in the manga, I don't necessarily see him as being a psychopath. Some of these traits do describe him, particularly charming, probably also impulsive, but some of the other traits I feel like are not necessarily what we see Griffith portrayed as. A lack of guilt or empathy. Griffith does actually express some guilt and empathy, particularly in his flashback scene to one of his earlier battles where a young boy who had joined the Band of the Hawks was killed. And this is something that Griffith does seem to look back on, feeling somewhat guilty, and also even reflects upon this and all of the other people that have died for his dream during the scene when he's about to transform into Femto and he is sacrificing everybody. He still sacrifices everyone though, so I don't know. Maybe he is lacking in guilt and empathy. Machiavellianism, these are people who are master manipulators. They know what to say and do to get their way. People with high Machiavellianism scores on the Dark Triad test usually display the following. Supremely focused on their own goals. They use flattery as a means to get what they want. They lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want. They are prone to casual sexual situations. They have socially different moral or ethics codes. They use others. They exploit others for their own ambitions. And they might have issues finding and showing their own emotions. I definitely think that Griffith fits into this category, and he experiences a lot of these Machiavellianism traits. He is for sure a master manipulator, and we see time and time again that he is not above using other people to help him achieve his dreams and his desires, which is to have his own kingdom. Even to the extent of the monologue that he had with Princess Charlotte, which Guts overheard, was how important goals are and how important his goals are. And he can only even see somebody as a true friend or equal to him if they have their own goals. And that really shows how important his goals are to him. He definitely uses flattery as a means to get what he wants. He uses this with Princess Charlotte and the other nobles because he knows that he needs to get into their good graces in order to achieve the kingdom he wants. I could definitely see him lying, cheating, and stealing to get what he wants, and we do know that he's also not above assassinating other people in order to get what he wants. I would not say that he's prone to casual sexual situations. At least, we're not really shown that side of him in the manga. There is the scene where he seduces Lord Genin, and that helps him to get the upper hand during the battle for Doldry, but that is also somewhat of a revenge situation as well. There are many, many times throughout the manga where Griffith will use Guts to help advance his plans and basically everything that he wants to do, and sacrificing the Band of the Hawk during the eclipse also shows that he has no problem using or exploiting others for his own ambitions. All right, let's talk about narcissism now. Narcissism is an inflated sense of self. Narcissists believe that they are superior people to others, and they require constant recognition for their superiority. They don't just crave attention or work to earn praise, but they expect this attention or praise, even if they don't accomplish much. People with high narcissism scores on the Dark Triad personality quiz usually display self-centered thinking, a lack of consideration for other people, they're viewed by others as cocky, they're selfish, they believe the world revolves around them, they have a very exaggerated sense of self-importance, they believe that they're superior, and they expect social favors. Griffith also definitely displays some of the characteristics of narcissism. And we see that although he is very accomplished as the leader of the Band of the Hawk, he definitely feels that he's superior to other people and that he's very deserving of his own kingdom, of his power of authority, and that others should just flock around him. They do, of course, and a lot of narcissists do have people that flock around them, but that doesn't mean that they're not narcissists. And I definitely feel like Griffith, believes himself to be the center of the world and better than other people. We're going to examine all of these traits a little bit more deeply, though, as we go through this Dark Triad personality test. So let's take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at this personality test. I'm going to take this pretending that I'm Griffith, using what we know of his character from the manga. So this Dark Triad personality test is an interactive version of the short Dark Triad test, which measures the 3 traits of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. This test was developed in 2011, And it is supposed to provide a more uniform assessment and also trim down the total length of time for the test. It will be 27 statements that you will rate on how much you agree with them. It says the median time to complete the test is 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and the results are free. So let's get started, and we'll see how Griffith does on this. All right, first question. It's not wise to tell your secrets. I feel like Griffith would definitely agree with this. He's always trying to play the long game, and he's always keeping everything close to his chest. So he would agree, definitely don't tell your secrets, especially if it's going to portray you in a bad light. People see me as a natural leader. Definitely agree with that. People tend to want to flock around Griffith. He's very charismatic. And not only does the Band of the Hawk see him as a natural leader, but then when he also, reinvents himself as Griffith 2.0 after his rebirth as Femto, his new Band of the Hawk also sees him as a great leader. I like to get revenge on authorities. Yes, I would agree with this as well. I think that Griffith probably does like to get revenge on authorities, especially if they do him wrong. People that do him wrong, he definitely seems like he likes to get revenge on. We're going to go agree. I like to use clever manipulation to get my way. Definitely agree with that. And we see he does this a lot with Guts. He manipulates Guts quite a lot in order to get Guts to do things for him. And also when Guts joined the Band of the Hawk, he manipulated him. I hate being the center of attention. No way. I don't think that Griffith hates being the center of attention at all. I avoid dangerous situations. Again, definitely no. We see Griffith going into a lot of different battles, a lot of different dangerous situations, and he also is always volunteering the Band of the Hawk for what seems to be very dangerous, unwinnable situations. Whatever it takes, you must get the important people on your side. I would agree with that as well. We see that when Griffith is trying to get in good with Princess Charlotte and trying to get in good with all of the nobles, raise up in the ranks in the Midland Army. He definitely understands it's important to get people on your side. Many group activities tend to be dull without me. This one's difficult to answer because we don't see a lot of group activities that take place in the manga without Griffith. Everybody tends to flock around Griffith, and he is one of the main characters in the manga, so that would make sense. We do have the scene, though, with Guts and Casca up on the hillside looking out over the Band of the Hawk and all of the campfires that they have going on in the Campfire of Dreams episode. And they're basically, Guts is talking about in particular how each of the campfires represents people's individual dreams, and they're all there gathering around Griffith, who's like the blazing inferno that holds them all together. So yeah, I think Griffith probably does feel like group activities would be dull without him, because he is that glue that holds the whole Band of the Hawk together. Agree. Payback needs to be quick and nasty. This one I'm going to disagree with, because Griffith is very skilled at playing the long game, as we see in his dealings with Lord Genin. He gets payback eventually for the wrongs that were done to him when he was much, much, much younger, but it's not quick. He knows that this is somebody he can use to his advantage later on, and in that scenario, Griffith is able to use that manipulation, use people to get what he wants, and that's more important than getting the payback. So I'm going to go with slightly disagree. Yeah, we're going to go slightly disagree. Avoid direct conflict with others because they may be useful in the future. This is also a difficult one. And again, I think this goes back to Griffith is very calculating in what he does. And if he knows that somebody is going to be useful in the future, then he would avoid direct conflict with them now so that they can be useful in the future. Yeah, I'm going to go with agree on this one. I know that I'm special because everyone keeps telling me so. Oh, definitely. Everybody tells him that he's special, and he knows it. People often say I'm out of control. This one I'm going to have to disagree with. I don't think that anybody says that Griffith is out of control. That is not a character trait that we see portrayed in the manga. It's wise to keep track of information that you can use against people later. Definitely. And this goes along, again, with having that long game and knowing how to manipulate people. Griffith definitely would keep track of information he can use later. I like to get acquainted with important people. Oh, he definitely does. And that's why he courts the princess and tries to get in good with all of the nobles. It's true that I can be mean to others. This one I'm going to have to slightly agree with, because I would not say that Griffith is mean to others, but he can be. And he is a warrior, so he obviously is mean to his enemies. But, I mean, honestly, it is kind of mean that he sacrificed his whole entire, entourage, in order to become part of the God Hand. So, yeah, I mean, but we're still going to go with slightly agree because he doesn't really walk around like constantly being mean to people. He has that streak in him, though. You should wait for the right time to get back at people. Yeah, I'm going to go with agree on this one. Griffith is very calculated, and he knows always best to wait for the right time. I feel embarrassed if someone compliments me. No, I don't think that this fits Griffith. I don't think I've ever really seen him embarrassed when people compliment him. People who mess with me always regret it. Yeah. People that mess with Griffith definitely regret it. Also, people who don't mess with Griffith and support him also regret it. So, people who know Griffith seem to regret it. So we're going to go with agree. There are things you should hide from other people because they don't need to know. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I have been compared to famous people. So I hear Griffith's voice in my head being like, girl, I am a famous person. I have never gotten into trouble with the law. Well, that's not true. He gets into big trouble with the law. Such big trouble that he is actually imprisoned and tortured for a whole year. So, disagree. Make sure your plans benefit you, not others. Yes. The Band of the Hawk was essential for him to achieve his dreams, but he wasn't really necessarily doing it because he wanted them to be successful. He was doing it because he wanted himself to be successful. I am an average person. Definitely disagree. Somebody who becomes part of the God Hand, not an average person. I enjoy having sex with people I hardly know. So this is something that we definitely don't know enough about Griffith's character in order to answer this. I mean, we only really see him with Charlotte, and he definitely knows her, and then there's the situation with Lord Genin, but that's a little bit different. We don't know enough about Griffith's sex life to answer this, so I'm going to say neutral. Most people can be manipulated. Yes, I would say Griffith agrees with that. I insist on getting the respect I deserve. Agree. I mean, to the extent that when he felt like Guts was not giving him the respect that he deserved, oh man, he threw just like the king of temper tantrums, basically. cause the eclipse. Gosh. So, yeah. I'll say anything to get what I want. Yeah, I feel like he probably would. I don't see Griffith holding back on saying things if he knows that it's going to get him what he wants. Oh, time for the results. All right, let's see. Here we go. And are we shocked? Not at all. So here's what we're looking at. And this is basically my prediction that I had. He scored a 5 out of 5 on Machiavellianism and on narcissism, and a 3.4 on psychopathy. So that's pretty much what I had predicted, that I thought that he exhibited the traits of Machiavellianism and narcissism, and a little bit of psychopathy, but not really too much. And that's basically what we got on this test. So is Griffith evil? I mean, really, honestly, I think anybody who's read Berserk knows the answer to that. And yeah, Griffith's pretty evil, who sacrifices all of their friends. And now it's confirmed that he does exhibit the dark triad personality traits in a pretty high amount, at least in the Machiavellianism and the narcissism. So let me know what you guys think about this. Was this your prediction? Did you think that Griffith was going to be evil? Did you think he was going to score this high and everything? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So good to have you all here. And make sure you check out some of our other videos. We'll talk to you all soon in future videos. See you all later. Bye.